pursuant to the shelter-in-place order issued by San Mateo County Health Officer, the Governor's Office, and the CDC's social distancing guidelines, which discourage large public gatherings. The board chambers LAFCo uses for meetings is currently not open to the public for meetings. We are meeting via Zoom. At this point, the clerk will explain how both written comments and spoken public comments can be made by attendees of the meeting. Angela, please.
Thank you, Chair. For those attending the meeting on Zoom video conference, we will use the raise hand feature in order to organize any public comments. For the general public comment period and for each item on the regular agenda, I will ask those members of the public who wish to comment to click the raise hand feature to speak on that agenda item. For those joining by phone, please press *9 to indicate your desire to speak. When you hear your name called, I will prompt you to unmute your account and inform you that you may begin speaking. Please note that members of the public must wait for my prompt in connection with each agenda item before using the raise hand function. For example, you cannot raise your hand at the beginning of the meeting for an agenda item that is later in the meeting. If any written comments were submitted, they will be read by me during each agenda item. Thank you.
All right, can we move to the roll call now?
Yes. Commissioner Draper?
Here.
Commissioner Garbarino?
Here.
Commissioner Horsley?
Present.
Commissioner Lohman?
Here.
Commissioner O'Neill?
Here.
Vice Chair Slocum?
Yo estoy aquí.
Chair Cosgrove?
Here. Please also let the record reflect that the alternate public member, Jim O'Neill, is present.
Yes, and also present is staff Executive Officer Martha Poyatos, Management Analyst Rob Bartoli, Legal Counsel Rebecca Archer, Commission Clerk Angela Montes, and support from Janet Lujan. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Did I miss anybody else that we need to mention?
I think that's it.
All right, hearing none, let's move on to item number 2, the consent agenda.
Thank you. The consent agenda consists of January 15, 2020 minutes, LAFCo file number 1912, annexation of 88, 91, 96, and 99 Hillbrook Drive to West Bay Sanitary District. LAFCo file number 2002, annexation of APN 080-084-320 to 080-084-330 to West Bay Sanitary District. LAFCo file number 1911, outside service agreement for water by the City of Redwood City to home at APN 068-092-190. LAFCO file number 20-03, outside service agreement for water by the City of Redwood City to home at 841 Bayview Way. LAFCO file number 2004, annexation of 30 Cheyenne Point to West Bay Sanitary District. And lastly, LAFCO file 20-01, outside service agreement for water by the City of Redwood City to 8 new single-family homes at 4057 Jefferson Avenue.
I would move to approve the consent calendar.
Second.
Okay, Commissioner Garbarino made the motion. Who was the second?
Slocum.
Thank you very much. Before I call for the vote, are there any questions, comments, or concerns from the commission? I will look right now for any hands being raised through my little Zoom thing here, or if anybody wants to speak out loud. Okay, I'm not hearing any or seeing any hands raised. So we have a motion by Commissioner Garbarino, and we have a second by Commissioner Slocum to approve the consent agenda as presented. May we please have a roll call vote?
Commissioner Draper?
Yes.
Commissioner Garbarino?
Yes.
Commissioner Horsley?
Yes.
Commissioner Lohman?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Neill?
Yes.
Vice Chair Slocum?
Yes.
Chair Cosgrove?
Yes. So that passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to move on to item number 3, which is public comment for items not on the agenda. Our clerk will read any written comments and allow the public to speak.
Thank you, Chair. So we are now opening public comment for item 3. If your hand is raised, your name will be called for this item. We will lower your hand after you speak. For those joining by phone, you can press *9 to raise your hand. And as of today, we had no written comments for item 3, and I will now pass to Janet for any spoken comments. Janet, do we have any spoken comments?
Well, with that, I'm sorry, what was that? Do we have any public comments written or someone?
We don't have any written, and I don't see any hands raised at the moment for item 3. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So I will move on to item 4 then. This is applications received and not certified as complete and ready for hearing. It's an information only item. Do we have any?
There are none.
We have none. Thank you. So let's move on to item number 5, which is consideration of adoption of proposed work program and LAFCo budget for fiscal year 2021. Staff report, please.
Yes, thank you, Chair Cosgrove and Commissioners. You've received a staff report dated May 13th, 2020, and an addendum report and revised budget spreadsheet sent to you today and also posted on the LAFCo website. The May 13 staff report recommended a fiscal year 2021 appropriations budget of $692,564, which included a net operating budget of $595,458 and a 1/3 apportionment to the county, 20 cities, and the 21 independent special districts of $198,495. Since the report was sent, we received from the controller a revised cost allocation plan amount of $9,861 compared to the $33,163 included in the May 13th staff report. So this results in a reduction of $23,768 from what you saw in the May 13th budget document. And so in summary, the budget that was sent to you today is an appropriations budget of $668,796, net operating budget of $571,717. So that's the appropriations budget less any application fees and fund balance. And when we take the 1/3 apportionment of that $571,717,000, that comes to $190,572 that would be apportioned to the county, cities, and independent special districts. Just by way of background on the timing, the statutory deadlines for the adoption of LAFCo budget, Government Code Section 56381 requires that the Commission by May 1 adopt a proposed budget at a notice public hearing following circulation of the budget to the county, cities, and special districts, which we did, and we also published notice in the newspaper. And then by June 15th, the Commission shall adopt what the code refers to as a final budget at a notice public hearing following circulation to the county, cities, and special districts. Then additionally, which isn't really part of the code, but in September, it's necessary to do a revised budget to reflect the year-end final fund balance after the current fiscal year closes. And as noted in the staff report, the Budget Committee, consisting of Commissioners Draper, Horsley, and Mike O'Neill, met on March 3rd to review a recommended proposed budget for consideration at the Commission's March 18th hearing. Then, due to the county health officer's shelter-in-place order on March 16th, the March and April meetings were canceled, which requires this consideration of the proposed budget at today's meeting, so we're slightly missing the deadline. And then we'll also require a special meeting on June 17th to consider the final budget. Staff's review of the budget after the subcommittee had two purposes. One was to update new cost information provided by the County of San Mateo in regard to the admin secretary's actual salary. And then also, we wanted to identify budget items that could be reduced or eliminated to minimize the costs to our funding agencies in light of the anticipated fiscal impacts that will result from revenue losses due to the shelter in place, and also the additional spending by agencies to respond to COVID-19. So the reductions included reducing reserve from 3% to 2%, eliminating travel as staff is willing to forego reimbursement for attendance at LAFCo events, and commissioners would attend at their own expense, and elimination of administrative leave cash out. And these were items that the subcommittee looked at their second meeting and approved. And I note that this budget is the first full fiscal year in which we're staffed at 2.5 full-time equivalent positions. So even with reductions in discretionary expenditures, the proposed 2021 budget couldn't be reduced to keep it flat. At that second budget committee meeting, the commission considered the recommended reductions and unanimously recommended approval of the budget. In the current year, there's a added one-time expense for a laptop that's necessary to work remotely. And then in the 2021 budget, the spreadsheet includes the actual budget for 2018-19 adopted, an estimated actual for 2019-20, and then the revised draft proposed for 2021. And that is in the amount of $668,796 compared to $692,564 in the May 13th staff report. Key items addressed in more detail in the narrative include an increase of $600 in general liability insurance, increase to the correct salary of the 1/2 of the salary for the administrative secretary at $57,856. And that's based on information from updated information from County Planning Department. And then and also increase in the LAFCo dues, which is something the commission considered last year. And I'm happy to say that at the direction of the budget committee, staff did ask the controller's office to review and consider whether it was appropriate to charge LAFCO for in the cost allocation plan for the county, a portion of the countywide share of unfunded retirement liability. And the controller's office has since revised the cost allocation from $33,163 to $9,861. So this results in an appropriations budget of $668,796, a net operating budget of $571,717, and that $190,572. The May 13th staff report includes the draft work program, and staff will be prepared to answer any questions you may have about it. The budget committee unanimously recommended approval of the revised draft proposed budget. And the recommended action today is that you open the public hearing and accept public comment, consider and approve by resolution the attached proposed appropriations budget of $668,796, and direct the executive officer to schedule the final 2021 budget for a public hearing at the June 2020 commission meeting, and circulate it with the necessary amendments to the county, cities, and independent special districts. And now we're prepared to answer any questions you have.
Martha,
Thank you very much.
you said June 20th, but the slide says June 17th. When's the next meeting?
The slide is correct, pardon me.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, first I'd like to open it up for public comments for this item. And do we have any public written or anyone on the phone?
Thank you, Chair. We did not get any written public comments for this item, and I do not see any hands raised for this item.
Joshua, do we have to make a motion to open the public hearing?
That is a question. Let me direct that question to Rebecca. Do we need to formally do that?
You do not. I know that some chairs in the past have preferred to do it by motion, but generally you can just open the public hearing.
Okay.
And so that is what my intention was when I sought public comment. So does that meet the requirement that we open the public hearing?
I would defer to our attorney.
Yes, Rebecca.
Yeah, yes, you may open the public hearing. I wonder if what Commissioner Horsley is concerned about is that he wanted whether members might want to make comments prior to opening public comment, but generally we have the presentation, open public comment, and then allow the commissioners to discuss and comment.
Okay. Well, we have no comment from the public right now, so I'm going to move on to if there's any questions, comments, or concerns from the commission. I'll leave the public comment time open in case any do come in. But what I'm going to do to try to maintain some order is I'm going to go by alphabetically. Just ask each commissioner if they have a comment, question, or concern. So Commissioner Draper.
Yes, this is to Martha. At our budget subcommittee meeting, we had talked about having somebody from the financial side of the county come in and speak with us. I'm assuming because of the adjustment, it was decided not to have that presentation?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. That's it.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Garbarino.
No questions or comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Horsley.
I would just commend Martha for going toe-to-toe with the county controller's office because it was, I know it's not easy. They had locked their feet in the ground on that particular item. So for you to go back and work your way through it, was not, I'm sure it wasn't easy. So I really appreciate you doing that. And I also appreciate the fact that you and Rob have said that should you go to any training or conferences, that you will cover your own costs. So your recognition of the current circumstances that we're in, and I think you're going above and beyond, but I will accept what you have offered.
Okay, thank you. Anything else, Commissioner Horsley?
No, that's it.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Lohman?
Yeah, quick question for Martha again. There was a paragraph or large discussion about, I believe they're called the A87 charges. Could you just give us a few words on that again, what all those changes were, and whether it's the different retirement funds or what happened on that?
Correct. So we got a notification from the controller's office that the state controller had given new instructions on how some of the charges for A87, which are basically overhead charges that are spread out over different county departments and agencies that get services from the county. And they had added this unfunded liability that was a countywide share to each department that really kind of spiked our budget. And I went back and forth several times, and it was finally when the subcommittee directed us to go back and make them justify this or reconsider it. And so they reconsidered what they were doing in terms of the unfunded liability. So that created a reduction in those charges.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anything else, Commissioner Lohman?
Nope, that's it. Thanks.
All right, excellent. Commissioner O'Neill.
I have no questions, but I join Don in thanking staff for their sacrifices next year. That's it.
All right, thank you. Vice Chair Slocum.
Yes, thank you, Chair. This question might be for Supervisor Horsley or for Martha, probably Martha actually. But Martha, I read in the newspaper this morning that a county supervisor may request a municipal service refresh on one of the districts in San Mateo County. And the question is, I'm assuming it doesn't, but would that have a budget impact on the document we were just reviewing? I would assume not, but I thought I'd ask. Thank you.
Yes, it should not have a budget impact. As the commission recalls, the municipal service review that was done in 2015 was done by a consultant that the commission hired. And it was very extensive, very detailed. And I believe it's going to kind of set the groundwork for not having to go back and recreate the wheel on that. So we'll be updating information. We won't be starting at, zero.
Right. We'll be refreshing. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you, Vice Chair Slocum. I do not have any questions. I would like to reiterate what's already been said. Thank you, staff, for preparing this. And I would like to ask, is there any public comments or anything that's come in since we've been just talking?
Thank you, Chair. So for this item, we also did not receive any written comments, and I do not see any hands raised.
Okay. So I'm going to close the public hearing, and I will now entertain a motion to approve the adoption of the proposed work program and LAFCo budget for fiscal year 2020-21.
So moved. No.
Or second.
Okay, so I believe I heard Commissioner O'Neill with the motion and Commissioner Lohman with the second.
That's fine.
All right, so let's go to the roll call vote, please.
Yes, I just want to make sure. If you are muted, you can unmute yourself for the roll call. Commissioner Draper,
Oh, here we go. Yes.
Commissioner Garbarino,
Yes.
Commissioner Horsley,
Yes.
Commissioner Lohman,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Neill,
Yes.
Vice Chair Slocum,
Yes.
Chair Cosgrove.
Yes, and that passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Okay, with that, we'll move on to item number 6, which is the Legislative and Policy Committee. Staff report, please.
And I think
Thank you, Chair
Rob,
Cosgrove and Commissioners. You have a staff report dated May 13th, 2020. The Commission's Legislative and Policy Committee met on February 14th to review 25 bills at that time from LAFCo. LAFCo is now tracking 30 bills. 7 of those are holdovers still from the legislative session of 2019-2020 and are not moving forward. And now that both houses of the legislature are back in session in Sacramento, it's anticipated that most of the legislation focused on COVID-19 response. And as noted in the LAFCo tracker that's attached to the memo, a number of the bill sponsors that are being tracked have already stated they will not be moving these bills forward in 2021. We will keep track of any bills that do have movement or do move through the legislature. A couple of bills that are of interest to San Mateo LAFCo, and those bills also have been mentioned that their proponents and sponsors will not be moving them forward in this legislative session. And we'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you very much for the staff report. And do we have any public comments for this item?
Thank you, Chair. For this item, we did not receive any written comments, and I do not see any raised hands.
Okay, thank you very much. So with that, I will again go through the commissioners alphabetically to see if there are any questions or comments. Commissioner Draper?
I have to unmute myself here. No, I don't. I guess when we have the meeting, Martha, where we talk about the relooking at the Harbor District, if you could have it so that we have some background for those of us who were not on the commission at that time, and then ask if we have any specific questions that we might want to look at this time around. That would be appreciated. That's it.
All right, thank you very much. Commissioner Garbarino? Do you have any questions or comments? Commissioner Garbarino, I think I missed.
There. No, none. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Commissioner Horsley?
No questions, no comments. Thanks.
Thank you. Commissioner Lohman?
No more comments, thanks.
Thank you. Commissioner O'Neill?
No comments or questions.
All right. Vice Chair Slocum? Vice Chair Slocum, do you have any comments or questions?
No, none. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I do not have any, so unless something came in from the public while we were discussing, we will move on. Anything come in from the public while we're discussing?
No, Chair.
All right, thank you very much. So that item does not need a motion or second. We will receive the report, correct? Martha or Rebecca?
That's correct. It was an informational only item.
All right, thank you very much. So let's move on to item number 7, which is commissioner staff reports. Are there any reports from the commissioners? Again, I will go alphabetically. So Commissioner Draper, any reports?
No. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Garbarino?
No, none, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Horsley?
Nope, no reports.
Thank you. Commissioner Lohman?
No additional reports, thanks.
Commissioner O'Neill?
Nope, nothing.
Vice Chair Slocum?
No report. Thank you.
Thank you. And I do not have any. Do we have any reports from staff?
Just wanted to let the commission know that kind of an update on the working from remote working, that we're going to continue working from our homes. I do come into the office as needed. And then we're working with county planning, where our office is located, on what the reopening plan is going to be. In the near future, there's going to be, rather than opening the entire building, there's a plan to open the lobby and have an enclosed kiosk that's kind of one-stop shopping for anyone that wants to do business with any of the departments located in this building. And we're going to, I think, be able to do well with meeting with clients remotely, and when necessary, coming in and getting documents and making sure deposits are made for any payments we receive. And we'll just keep you posted on that.
Thank you. Anything else? Okay, before I move on to item number 8, I just wanted to thank Martha and staff. They put together a nice little script for me to follow to keep this in order. So, and thank you to the commissioners and my colleagues here for following along. And then I see under the participants box, I see Katie Martin as an attendee. So I don't know when she came on, but for the record, let me note that the special districts member, Katie Martin, was also on this meeting. I don't know when she came on. But with that, thank you everyone, and I will adjourn this meeting at 2:59.
Thank you, everybody. Stay well.
Thank you.
Right. You too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.